Hello, everybody. We have a question to ask for today. Is should you watch Hanebado, the badminton sports anime with beautiful animation, but with a certainly interesting cast of characters? I'm joined by Jeff. Jeff, how you doing today?
I'm good.
I think you and I have very different, slightly different, not very different opinions about the show, slightly different opinions about the show. So I kind of want to talk about those, about whether we would recommend or should you be watching Hanebado. So I think I'll start if that's okay with you.
Go for it, buddy.
I think Hanebado is one of the most interesting sports animes we've watched, but I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. It takes a lot of risks that I don't think we've seen in a lot of different sports animes, but does it do so effectively? That I cannot 100% get behind. The characters aren't genuinely likable in a sense. They are very flawed, and they suffer from real complex issues that are really much deeper than anything that I have seen in the sports anime before. Do you want your characters to work as a team and be light and fluffy and win against the enemy team, or do you want your characters to have a bit of grit to it? Overall, this is, I would say, a recommended watch, just because of how different it is and of how beautiful the animation is. I cannot stress how gorgeous the animation style is for this, and I think, Jeff, you'll agree with me there. But this is also a very difficult show to talk about because of the twists and turns that happens in the stories and the flip-flops of the characters in it. So if you like complex sports animes, I would recommend this one, though it is not one that I would say is absolutely essential. Jeff,
Yeah,
over to you.
I would say adjust your expectations when watching this show. Basically, the show that I watched and the show that I finished watching was not the show that I signed up for. When you watch the opening of this show, you'll see that it is very fun and bubbly and lighthearted, and you see a bunch of cute anime high school girls playing badminton, and you think you're in for a fun ride. But actually, the show can go to some pretty dark and complex places. And if that piques your interest, then by all means, give it a shot. But I'm here to tell you that I don't think it sticks to landing in its ambitions. And obviously, if you don't like that kind of stuff, if you like, say, a more lighthearted anime with a sense of triumph, and a real sense of teamwork and solid friendships and bonds, then this is not the show that I would recommend to you. Overall, I didn't like it because I am that kind of person that likes a show that is more, I guess, upbeat and lighter in tone, and especially because that's kind of what I expected from the show. But yeah, there's also, I'll say there are characters in this show that are irredeemable and do not exactly get what's theirs in the end. And if you're like me, you like it when characters at least kind of have some resolution to their villainous and heinous acts, then you're going to be disappointed in this one. So go into this fully knowing that there are characters in here that you probably will not like and probably will not get their comeuppance later on.
So what should people watch instead if they don't want to watch this?
There are two other paddle-based sports animes that I highly recommend. They're both fantastic for different reasons. One of them is anime, or one of them, I was going to say our podcast, which is on our channel. One of them is called Ping Pong the Animation. And actually, this show, I think, takes inspiration from that one, from Ping Pong the Animation. I think it's the far superior show. I think it handles its characters better. I think it has a better finale, better character arcs, better everything. If you can get around the weird and sometimes jarring animation style of that one, then I think you're in for a treat in terms of sports animes. The other one is Baby Steps. That one is more of a long-running show. It goes for 2 seasons, and it's not a short watch, but it's worth it because you get to see every nook and cranny of the sport of tennis, and you get to see it from the eyes of very likable characters who continually improve and get better at the sport and use that as kind of the framework for their character development. And it has very enjoyable tennis matches. Both that and Ping Pong the Animation have very enjoyable matches to watch. Not as beautiful as the ones animated here, but I think the ones in those other shows generally have characters that you care more about, and so you are more invested and engaged in the outcome. So yeah, completely recommend Ping Pong the Animation and Baby Steps over this one.
More so because also in a sports anime, when I watch a sports anime, I want to actually play the sport sometimes that I'm watching. But this one makes badminton look very grueling. And even though the point of the show is why do you play badminton, and then ultimately, why you love to play badminton, I cannot say that I love badminton after watching this. That is not a sport that I want to play now.
Yeah, same here. The sport of badminton is a source of a lot of grief and isolation and sometimes depression. So yeah, I kind of, those words should kind of hint at you as to what kind of sports anime you're into. You're going to be up against when you watch this. So
yeah. Definitely an interesting watch. If you want to hear more about our thoughts about this, go over to our Anime Ricochet episode where we do a kind of a more in-depth discussion about Hanebado itself and our thoughts about this. But yeah, anything else, Jeff?
Nope, that's all. I don't recommend the show.
and I do recommend the show ultimately overall. Thanks very much, and you found this on Nerd Blaze.